Speaking from experience, I can say that running a beauty business means wearing a lot of hats. And amidst all of that day-to-day chaos, your booking system should not also be one of your biggest headaches. Hi, I'm Shelby Dennis, a licensed cosmetologist of over 15 years, and you are watching Beauty Business Builders. And today, we are talking about how Salon software can increase your revenue per client, so that you can get more out of every single client who already regularly sits in your chair. Because the thing is, most salon owners that I've talked to are able to tell me exactly how many clients they see in the average week. But when I ask them what their average revenue is per client, I'm usually met with a pause and a furrowed brow. And then if I ask what their software is doing in order to help them automatically grow that revenue per client, a lot of salon owners have never even thought of that before. But this is really important for any salon owner to consider because in 2026, the average service ticket sits at about $65 to $95 per client. But salons that have the right software features are consistently pulling in far more than that per client. And they're doing it without being open more hours, without hiring more staff, and without running constant promotions and discounts. So, today, I am walking you through 5 specific features that your software should provide in order to grow your revenue per client automatically. I'll be demonstrating all of it inside Boulevard, which is the platform I currently use, but the good news is that a lot of these features are available on other platforms, so you might be able to put some of these tips into action without changing anything about your current setup. Let's get into it. So, the first way that your software should be helping you increase revenue per client is through upsell prompts during online booking. Think about the moment that a client of yours opens the booking page on your website. They already know what they want, they're motivated, they're clicking, and they are more open to a suggestion at that moment than they are likely to be at any point during their visit. The thing is, that openness, that willingness to book another service, that whole window closes the moment that they hit confirm and finish the booking process. And what I really love about upsell prompts during self-booking is that they are appropriate no matter what kind of beauty business you run. When I worked at a kids salon, for example, we offered chlorine shampoo treatments as an add-on during the haircut booking process. That worked really well for us because swimming season was absolutely wrecking everyone's hair, and the parents were grateful that there was a solution for it, and all they had to do was click another button while booking their child's appointment. At an upscale salon for adults, you might consider a paraffin hand dip while color is processing or an aromatherapy experience at the shampoo bowl. At a barber shop, that might look like a hot towel during the shampoo or a straight razor service for the back of the neck at the end of the haircut. Basically, while the add-ons are going to be different depending on what kind of salon you run, the opportunity exists no matter what kind of business you're running. And with the right software setup, your staff is not going to have to do nearly as much upselling because it's going to be happening during the client's self-booking process. Let me show you exactly what that looks like. Okay, so this is the website for a salon that uses Boulevard, so I can show you from the client's side what this upsell experience looks like. So we'll click Book an Appointment, pick a location, we'll do Individual Appointment, and we'll go for a haircut. Let's just do a nice, simple women's haircut and blow dry. And so once a client has selected their service on the booking page, this is what they are going to see. So there's this header here labeled add-on services, and this repair treatment right here is something that the salon owner has gone in and specifically paired in their settings to show up whenever a client comes in to book a women's haircut and blow dry. And you'll notice that it's not a pop-up, it's not a hard sell, they're not required to say yes or no to it before they move on, but it's as simple as clicking one button just like that if they do want to add it. And so this will look a little bit different depending on the service. For a color, it might show something like a gloss or a deep conditioner as an add-on. It's totally up to you as the salon owner what appears here. Now, as for the salon side of things where you control all of this, let's take a look at that next. So, just lives under the Manage tab here, and then we come into Services over here on the left. And once you set this up once, it will run every single time someone books online. And so, for example, you might come in here. You would click on Options, and here you can see what you would configure it with. So you can hit Select Service, and you can add anything that you want that is already existing in your list of services. Now, I will say this, of course, is going to work a little bit differently depending on what platform you use. This is how Boulevard does it. Every single salon software has its own set of settings and menus that you'll get familiar with as you use it. But the good news overall here is that these days, most salon platforms offer some kind of feature like this, so keep an eye out for it because it might even be available on the platform you already have. Okay, the second way that your software should be helping you increase revenue per client is by making it easier to sell retail during checkout. And I gotta say, this is huge because even stylists who are very comfortable with selling retail will tell you that checkout is a bit of a chaotic juggling act. You've got to process the payment itself, you've got to handle rebooking. You're still trying to keep the conversation going that you were having at your chair, and there's almost always someone trying to check in at the front desk while you're doing all of this. So it's no wonder that so many stylists are just like, I'm not going to bother with even trying to recommend retail. This is too busy right now. There's also a bit of fear of the worst case scenario, which is asking a client if they want to restock on something just to find out that they came in and got it only a couple weeks ago. Now you look like you're gunning really hard for that sale, and nobody likes the way that feels. Now, Boulevard's checkout screen handles both of those problems quite well, and it does it in a way that's really smooth. I have not seen any other platform that does it in quite the same way. Okay, so let's take this appointment to checkout. Okay, so here in the checkout screen, you have a line item field where you can add any product, service, or package to the order. And while this is very handy, it's actually not the most useful thing on this screen. If you come down here into the corner, you can see previous purchases. And not just can you see previous purchases, you also get a timestamp for when they bought it most recently. And this eliminates the whole guesswork of wondering, should I ask them if they want to re-up on that? Were they just in to grab that? I'm not too sure. I don't want to come across as a salesperson type of thing. Instead, you have the facts right in front of you, and you can say, how are you liking that mousse you picked up a couple months back? Did you want to restock that while you're here today? And then if they happen to say yes, one click adds it to this ticket. Just like that. That means there's no trying to keep the conversation going while you pull up their client profile, and no digging through their purchase history while doing the math amidst all of that. Instead, the information is right here the moment that you need it. Now that said, if they want something different, like a new product or to sign up for a membership or package while they're at the front desk, you can use this same field because it is searchable. So you can type in any product or any membership, and it'll pop right up for you to add to that ticket. Now, I will say this feature is not quite as common as the first feature that we discussed. If you want this kind of functionality, you're most likely going to need something with some strong inventory features. The more basic tools that are focused primarily on booking and letting you process payments are most likely not going to have functionality like this. Okay. The third way that your software should be helping you increase revenue per client is with automated rebooking reminders. I have to say that this is one of the most underutilized features I see across any salon. And I think it's because the phrase rebooking reminders kind of gets rolled up with other terms that sound similar but mean something completely different. So let's talk about that real quick. So we've got rebooking reminders and appointment reminders, right? Appointment reminders go out to clients who already have an upcoming appointment on your books. And these reminders are super valuable to any salon. They really help to reduce both no-shows and late cancellations. And if you're already using appointment reminders, I highly recommend that you continue doing so. But appointment reminders do absolutely nothing for clients who have not rebooked yet. That is where rebooking reminders come in. These reminders are sent out to clients who are just about due to rebook a service but are not on your books for anything so far. And I know that might sound similar, but I have to say I have worked at plenty of salons across my career that had automated appointment reminders down pat and had never even considered the idea of rebooking reminders, so I really like to highlight this one. But I also want to say that rebooking reminders do more than benefit you. They also protect you from unhappy clients. For example, let's say you've got a stylist who is going to be taking a well-deserved 2-week leave sometime in the near future. This stylist very likely has regulars who come in at a regular cadence, and I have seen firsthand that a lot of clients don't pre-book because they say, oh, well, I know that my stylist works Tuesday through Saturday, so I'll just book for that time when I'm a week or two out. Now, if that happens when the stylist is on vacation and the client calls to book, they are going to feel like an afterthought. They are going to feel like, why didn't anybody tell me? I come in religiously and nobody thought to send me a reminder like, hey, your stylist is going to be gone during your usual appointment. Can we get you set up for a different time? That frustration is exactly what sends a lot of clients out to try new salons rather than returning to yours. One single automated message sent a few weeks before the stylist's leave would resolve all of these problems before they ever even cropped up. And so let me show you exactly where this lives in Boulevard. So we're going to head over to the marketing tab here, and there are 5 different automated campaigns available here. So we've got fill slow days, birthday message, reminder to book, rescue lost clients, and last minute opening. And the one we are focused on here is going to be reminder to book. And this campaign, as you might expect, goes out to clients who are just about due to come in and see you again, but don't have anything on the books so far. And you have full power over the timing, what the message looks like, whether you do SMS and email or just one. And once you set it up, it runs forever until you turn it off. And now I also mentioned rescue lost clients right here too, which is an option as well. This campaign serves a little bit of a different purpose, and we're going to come back to it before the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. For now, just know that rebooking campaigns and lapsed client campaigns kind of serve different purposes for two different situations, and your salon is really going to be well served by having options to do both. Now, that said, when you run this rebooking reminder consistently, first you'll notice that you have one less gappy day, and then another, and another. That adds up to real, consistent revenue week over week without you having to manage anything manually. Now, the fourth way that your software should be helping you increase revenue per client is by making memberships and packages easy to sell and easy to redeem. Now, in my experience, a salon will give up on memberships and packages for one of two reasons, sometimes both. First, the software makes memberships so clunky that you and your stylist over time just kind of start feeling like it's not worth it. Second, if a client has a membership and it's really awkward to redeem at checkout, that is yet another driving force that will mean that you eventually just kind of give up on this option altogether. I want to be clear that this kind of letting go of the idea of memberships and packages is not a sign of laziness, and it certainly doesn't mean that you and your stylist don't care about consistent recurring revenue. Really, the reason that this happens is almost always because it has felt so awkward for so long that the clients and the stylist just don't enjoy it, and so everybody dances around it instead. Now, that said, getting this right can be so worth it for your salon. Data shows that clients with memberships will rebook at 2 to 3 times the rate of clients that don't have memberships. Members also tend to spend more per visit on add-on services and retail. And members also tend to spend more on add-ons and retail because they already feel like they're getting a great deal on their core service. So all in all, membership isn't just a path to consistent recurring revenue. It's also a way to truly maximize your per-client revenue, naturally and automatically, across every single client. And so, as usual, let me show you what this looks like in Boulevard. So with Boulevard, right inside the checkout screen, you can see right here any client that has an active membership and whether they have unused benefits available to redeem. So over here, you can see that they are a member of the braiding membership and they've got 4 remaining. And it is as simple as clicking the redeem button to apply it to the service today. And this really helps with the checkout process because it means whether the stylist is doing the checkout or you have front desk staff, it's so easy for them to at a glance look and say, oh, you still have your monthly braiding service available. Did you want to apply that today? And we're able to ask that without having to dig into a client profile or look through old records or anything that you might have to typically do when it comes to managing memberships. And adding a new membership or package from the same screen is super simple. All you have to do is start to type in whatever you're looking for and it'll automatically suggest it. And if you happen to pick something that the client is already a member of, the system will warn you, which is another really nice little detail that I haven't really seen in any other platform. Now, for how this all works in terms of paperwork, renewal, billing, all of that stuff, the great part is that your front desk is never going to have to deal with that on the fly. If you add this and you go to checkout, it is going to automatically present to the client the digital forms that they need to sign in order to agree to sign up. And you set that up once in here. And once you have it set up, it's available as something that can be added to checkout for every single client. It's not something that has to be configured. You're not printing out papers. You're not doing any of the rigmarole that might otherwise kind of detract from the excitement of joining a membership. And finally, in terms of renewal, the client will be billed automatically. They will receive the paperwork and everything automatically. So there is never an awkward conversation that's like, oh, hey, you have to sign up for that again today. Can we confirm your credit card and get your signature on all this stuff? Nobody likes to do that part. Now, that said, I want to be clear that every single salon software platform takes a very different approach to its membership settings. And that's why it's really important to make sure that no matter which platform you use or sign up for, you confirm not just that the membership and package functionality exists, but that it is truly easy to sell, redeem, and manage. And now, the fifth and final way your software should be helping you increase revenue per client is by helping you reach out to lapsed clients. Now, let me explain what I mean here, because there is a common pattern here that I see all too often. What usually happens is a salon owner will look at their retention numbers maybe once a year when they really need to, when they notice that business has gotten slow. The number concerns them, they can see that it's dropping, and they're not really sure exactly what to do about it. And after that, sadly, they close the report and tend to not think about it again. That's because they have no clear picture of which specific clients have gone cold. They have no bandwidth or time to dig into the data and figure it out one by one. And even if they did have the time, they have no process on how to actually do any of that. And meanwhile, those clients have been booking somewhere else and giving a different salon their money for weeks, if not months. And so remember a few minutes ago when I mentioned that we would circle back to these lapsed client campaigns that Boulevard offers? We're going to head back to that same marketing tab now. Okay, and so this screen looks a little bit familiar, right? This is where I control not only my rebooking reminders, but also my win-back campaigns and any automated campaign that I want to run. So this time we are going to be looking at rescue lost clients. And as you can see from the description, the purpose of this is to remind clients that they're missed and to welcome them back. And that is exactly what it does. So this is very much not the same as running a reminder to book campaign, the one that we talked about earlier. A rebooking reminder goes out to a client who is slightly overdue or about to be overdue for their next service. Rescue lost clients, on the other hand, is something you send to clients who haven't come back for a long, long time. And personally, I think it's something that you almost always want to have running in the background. And just like the reminder to book campaigns, you can custom build the entire campaign. That includes what the email will look like, what images you use, what colors and branding you use, so that it really looks, sounds, and feels like your brand. And I personally love that all of it happens right here in this interface instead of dumping you into a Canva plugin or something like that that means you would have to learn another tool. And you can of course run this campaign for SMS as well, not just email. And I will say for a client who hasn't come in for 6 months or more, approaching with both can be a very smart move. That said, if your clients are really good about toggling and enabling their text or email preferences, it might not be such a good use of your credits to go for both. So if you end up going this route, think about your clientele, what they prefer, and use your marketing credits wisely that way. And once you hit active and save, it just runs based on the settings that you've set up over here on the side. That means that you don't have to manually send anything, you don't have to remember to pull the report at a certain cadence, nothing like that. And I really love this feature because without it, you're losing revenue that you just frankly don't have time to fight for. And it's kind of a weird paradox to watch your numbers go down and yet also not have time to go after them. But it's the reality that a lot of us salon owners are living every single day. So automations like this are so nice to have. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground so far, so let's do a quick recap. There are 5 key ways that your salon software should be automatically helping you increase your revenue per client. 1 is upsell prompts during online booking, so that clients see and select add-on options before they ever set foot into the building. 2 is checkout suggestions based on that client's purchase history, so that retail conversations happen naturally without any awkwardness or salesy feelings. 3 is automated rebooking reminders for clients who are due but haven't booked just yet, so your schedule stays fuller without you having to manage it every day. 4 is memberships and packages that are easy for your team to sell and for your clients to redeem. And 5, win-back campaigns for lapsed clients that run automatically in the background, so that you're not losing revenue or chasing after revenue with all of your spare time. Now, that said, the honest truth is that implementing all 5 of these tips is going to require salon software with marketing automations built in. Virtually all of the more basic booking platforms out there are not going to let you do much, if any, of these things. And if your current software is one of the platforms that can only do 1 or 2 of the things we've talked about in this video, that's worth knowing now so you can start planning for an eventual upgrade instead of having to scramble the moment that you hit that ceiling. And that is it for today on Beauty Business Builders. If this helped you, don't forget to subscribe. We're here to help you build a profitable, sustainable beauty business, and I will see you in the next video.